Can you hear now? Yep, we're good.
We're good.
You are an artist.
Your socks are down on that.
That's as high as they go.
All right, we're starting like this.
Let's go, let's go.
Hi all, and welcome back to another edition of Dan and the Doctor. It's great to be here with you all, and I'd like to just introduce my colleague in... that was shit.
Partner in crime. What are you trying to say?
Yeah,
Partner in crime?
Let's go again.
Do we have to go
Yeah,
again?
well, we stuffed that first.
Oh, yeah, okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah, look, he stuffed us.
Okay, he did.
He had one job
That's
to do.
right,
One
that's
job,
right.
and he just pulled
We'll get to you in a minute.
Anyway, yeah. Quiet in the corner, we're getting you. G'day all, and welcome to the next edition of Dan the Doctor. It's great to have you all here. I would like to welcome my partner in crime, the great old Gordon Reid. Pleasure to have you here as always.
Always good to see you, mate. Always good to see you. Hey, did you see on the news this morning that the Territory are debating whether you can have a pet crocodile or not? What do you reckon?
I think that is a debate that should be brought to the federal chamber. I really do.
Do you
But
really?
I don't know how they're going to go down in New South Wales in our area, or Victoria for that matter.
Oh, mate, I don't even know. I mean, you know, they're beautiful, they're big, they're gorgeous. And speaking of beautiful, big and gorgeous, who have we got over in this corner over here?
We have the amazing Sam Nicholls. The member, sorry, Sam. We have the amazing Sam Birrell, the member for Nicholls. They'll cut that out, but they won't. So, welcome to Dan and the Doctor. It's a pleasure to have you here as well.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Gordon.
So, Sam, you're a very special MP for a new MP.
Really?
Not many new MPs get to do what you do, and that's represent the area of Nicholls, which is a great area, my mum and dad's area, and a very nice place to be. But you're also the Deputy Whip. Can you just talk us through a bit about what you're going to do there and what it means to be the Deputy Whip of the National Party?
Well, perhaps the National Party requires more whipping than every other party, Dan, Gordon, I'm not sure. But the whip is the great Mark Coulton, who's been in this place for a long time and a wonderful person. So it's been good to have my office next door and just learn the procedures of Parliament from him.
Yeah, good stuff. And so what do you have to do as the Whip? Because most people who watch and listen to what we generally dribble about probably don't know what a whip does.
Well, the whip generally coordinates the business of Parliament and the parliamentary day to make sure everyone knows when they're speaking, what's going on, what's happening when, and where they need to be so that we don't sort of have chaos.
Because I think whipping in the Australian Labor Party is very different to whipping in the National Party. Is that right?
Well, I don't know what you guys get up to when it comes to whips and stuff in the Labor Party, but I'm sure the Australian public would be fascinated to know.
And we have an amazing whip too, Jo. She's a great job, and she scares us, ex-school principal, and just scares us a little bit, puts a little bit of fear into us. So it's a good thing, so that we are definitely on our toes. And
Never late, always on time, know when to speak, every time without fail.
And if we're in doubt, we just go, so Jo, what do we do?
Exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly right. Now, I've got a question for you, or should I say bonjour? Tu t'appelles comment?
Bonjour, Gordon.
Yeah, very good. Now, look, we were provided with a copy of French poetry. Now, I'm looking at this book, and the sentence that I just gave you is the only sentence I can speak in French. But I was wondering if you could maybe recite some of this French poetry for the camera and for the viewers out there. Do you have a favourite?
I do.
You do?
I could tell you the story of...
I would love that. We would love that. Tell us.
Ma mère professeur français à l'école Shepparton. Now, what I just said to you is my mother was a French teacher in a high school in Shepparton. So
I thought he said he was the French professor of Shepparton.
No.
I thought he said he was the mayor.
growing up, I never really had the discipline to learn too much conversational French, but what I did do was go into competitions reciting French poetry. Really? And when I turn up at the French ambassador's residence for the first function here, we got talking about it and, had a lovely conversation about French poetry.
They would have loved that.
My favourite, the first verse of one of the ones I recited back in high school was Il pleut de mon cœur comme il pleut sur la vie, quelle est cette longueur qui pénètre mon cœur.
And translation?
I don't know what it means, Gordon. I just know it sounds nice.
Well, it sounded bloody beautiful, mate.
I know the French is the language of love, right? But it did nothing for me, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, so
It tickled me a bit, Dan.
There's no chemistry between us, Dan.
we're all different here, so it's okay.
So did he say competitions? Did you say competition? Yeah, did you win like medals and stuff?
No, we won French books, which I couldn't read. That's all right.
Oh, very good.
There were pictures.
I like pictures in books too, it's okay.
I'm sure you do.
And we usually don't get into taking the piss out of people straight up like this.
Yeah, we really
It's a target-rich environment here, guys.
No, it is. And we haven't got to the good ones yet either. But that was just a little start. That was a little teaser, which is good. But can you tell us a bit why you got into politics and what it means to be the member of Nicholls?
Sure. Well, I grew up in the region, in the Goulburn Valley, little place near a town called Murchison on the Goulburn River, and I went to school locally. Did 4 years of school down in a place called Kilmore at boarding school. Beautiful area, but sort of always found my way coming back. Got involved in agriculture, worked on farms, became very passionate about that. I did university at the Melbourne University campus of Dookie, which is the Ag College. Worked as an agricultural scientist or agronomist for some local firms and then global firms. Also, then at the time, Greater Shepparton set up an advocacy group called the Committee for Greater Shepparton, which I started out as a volunteer, and then I became the CEO of. And basically that meant that I was sort of working with the community to try and work out what sort of programs, what sort of infrastructure we needed, and worked with whatever elected representatives we had. Now, at the time, our Member of Parliament was my predecessor, Damien Drum, and had a great working relationship with him. And when he decided that he was going to call time on his career, I thought, well, what's the next way I can represent and try to do the best for the place I have grown up and live and love? And that was by putting my hand up to see if I could get elected to come up here.
Yeah, good work. And as I said earlier, my mum and dad are down in your beautiful area, and I'm sure he comes in the office every now and then and really just annoys the piss out of you. Because he does it to me, so I hope he's doing it to other MPs as well.
A bipartisan lobbying effort.
Yeah, federal member.
I've been out to the shooting range with your dad and took Senator McKenzie out there and we caught up with him and did some clay target shooting. And
he's not
terrific.
much of a shot, he's pretty pussed, to be
I was
honest.
going to say, is your dad a good shooter?
No.
Is that who you learn it from?
He will. So he does mainly shotgun shooting now because he's too old for pistol shooting, he thinks, and he definitely had no skills to start with in pistol shooting.
Jeez.
So, but I have a go against him every now and then.
Rough on old Papa Repacholi.
Very rough on him, and he deserves every bit of it too, don't you, old boy? You love it. And as I said in one of my speeches, I think it was my very first speech. Like, we've got 3 tradies in our family, and the old boy wouldn't know which end of a screwdriver to use, so it's quite different.
How come you don't shoot a shotgun?
I do every now and then.
Yeah,
I'm not as good at it as what I am at pistols, and really, it's not that hard.
It's the finesse, isn't it?
It's the finesse.
You are a true athlete, an artist, I would say too.
And why? I don't need to compensate for anything. I'm a big guy, so I don't need to use a big gun. I'm happy with a little pistol. It's nice and easy.
But the shotgun would be like a pistol anyway.
Yeah, it's
just surprised when you hold the pistol, it's kind of like just holding like a Smartie.
You could have a psychologist really delve into this stuff about why he likes big guns and small guns and all of that.
Has my psychologist for the shooting team spoken to you?
Not yet.
Not yet. Very good. But moving on, so we hear that you have a fantastic wife, Lisa, and a few people around the town of Shepparton regularly say that the wrong person went into politics. Is that correct? Because we got told that she's much smarter, much more charismatic, and just wants to be around the people. That's what we hear. So I can't give you my sources on this one, but is that the truth?
What happened was, my wife got a new job with the University of Melbourne, quite an esteemed job working on an agribusiness project, and there was a launch for that, and the launch came about 3 weeks after I was pre-selected as the National Party candidate. She got up and gave this incredibly inspiring speech about how we can get agribusiness to the regions and how she's going to use this job as a platform to make sure that PhD and master's students understand just what can be achieved in the regions. And the member at the time, my predecessor, Damien Drum, sent a text message around to a lot of people saying, we got the wrong Birrell. So that's where that comes from.
Jesus, that's good.
Sam's new nickname, the wrong Birrell. The wrong Birrell. Sounds like a good label for a wine, doesn't it, Dan?
It does sound like a very good label for a wine. And
anyway, the Parliament is saddled with me, not Lisa. So.
Oh, please. We're happy you're here, mate.
Extremely happy you're here. So you're doing a good job down there from everything.
But I believe now, on the topic of the wrong Birrell and giving inspiring speeches and that sort of thing, giving in leadership roles and all that. I believe you were part of a leadership program. Is that right? What was it called, Dan? The
Farley Leadership
The
Program?
Farley Leadership Program?
Fairly
The
Leadership.
Fairly Leadership Program.
Yeah, okay,
Tell us a bit about that.
Andrew, it
Wrong
was
Birrell.
named after Andrew Fairley, who was one of the early pioneers behind SPC, great company in the region. Yeah, and it's a community leadership program, and I participated in it in 2013 and came up here. I mean, I don't know if you guys came up here before you were elected, but the excitement of going into the gallery and looking down and watching the House of Representatives for the first time, to think 10 years later we're sitting down on those benches, I still can't believe it. Sometimes you do pinch yourself.
And so you're like, are you marked or are you graded in that program?
In
or?
the Fairly Leadership Program?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I don't think you're marked or graded, but you
I'm just
are.
curious how you
have
went.
to turn up. It was a great experience.
Yeah.
That year, you learn about, you know, your own area, which
Hmm.
was for me was agriculture and water and those sort of things, but you learn about other elements of the community that you might not necessarily understand. The thing is, you go through a fairly intense process.
Fairly intense.
Fairly intense. In Fairly, one goes through a fairly intense process with 22 other people, and you learn a lot about yourself in that process.
Oh, that's very good. I've got to say, the first time I was in Parliament prior to this, I was 12. Or was I 11? I don't know. What about you? Were you here before that? You were here.
I was grade 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you both knew you'd be back in sitting down there on those couches.
Negative on that.
I can tell you, if someone had asked me this 5 years ago, we'd be sitting there talking about this, and I said, what is wrong with you?
Exactly. The same.
I heard a few little rumours about that class too, that 2013 class. It was one of the lowest graduating classes that they've had in there.
There was nothing
And
to do with
clearly
me.
you're a standout in that class, so, which is nice and good. That's why you're here in this building again. Gave you the inspiration you needed to come here.
I did get some inspiration. I got some inspiration from my fellow travellers.
Yeah, good work, good work.
Said that you might have more ability than you think, Sam.
That's
And I
nice.
probably needed to hear that.
That's nice. And so, speaking about more ability than what you think, and we hear that a little bit of politics in the pub goes on quite often down in the beautiful Nicholls area,
the
as
way
it
we-
does all around Australia.
That's the way we roll in electorates like ours.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I don't mind politics in the pub. I love going to the pub and having a beer and just talking to the punters and seeing what's going on, because that's where you get the real stories. But I hear every now and then you bring your guitar to politics in the pub, and that there's usually quite a few people there when it all starts. But then as soon as that guitar gets whipped out, that's boom, ghost town. Is that correct? Because that is what we hear.
Word on the
That
street.
the abilities of
Wrong Birrell.
yeah, wrong Birrell.
Well, I've never noticed that to happen.
Is that just
Dan,
because
but,
you're locked onto the one figure in the crowd, and that was the one person that stayed there, like we get told to do when you're really focusing on something to make sure you just look at that one person?
Look,
and
maybe that's it.
push through. Is that?
Maybe I'm the pub clearer of Nicholls. I'm not sure.
Pub clearer.
I mean, I did pull the guitar out at my campaign launch.
Yep.
And I did sing Oasis, Don't Look Back in Anger. So
Fitting.
Very good.
I thought it was a metaphor for, you know, the positivity that I was going to bring to
New
Parliament.
beginnings. New
Good work.
beginnings.
I like that. And did you have to talk them through that, or they picked up on that?
I think that the more sophisticated voters of Nicholls and picked up on it, and
Yep.
maybe that's why I'm here. I don't know. We'll never know, will we?
No, that's exactly right. And I see you've brought your guitar in here with you today.
Well, I was asked to by you too.
Thank you anyway, but that's okay. And have you got something a little bit special for us?
Well, I don't know. When you said, you know, bring your guitar, I thought I can do that. And I thought, well, a podcast needs some theme music at the start.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I'd give you something if you want.
Bring it on. Let's see what
please.
You want? All right. Well, I don't.
This
I
pub
don't,
won't clear.
I don't know what style you guys wanted. I thought, you know, blues, jazz. I don't know. Anyway, let's just do. I just sort of little riff on a bit of a 12-bar blues and see if it fits the vibe of.
Do we have to cuddle while this happens, or
Do you have to what?
do we have to cuddle while this
You can
happens?
do whatever you want.
Have a lighter and do this
Yeah.
side to side.
Oh,
Bravo.
beautiful,
Good work.
beautiful.
Good stuff.
Mate,
Oh,
when you're
Use it as best you can.
when you're walking down the corridor now,
rusty early in
Dan,
the
are you
morning.
going to hear that in your mind?
Oh, do we definitely hear it?
Because now we have theme music for our life.
See, exactly right. Yes, this will carry on for
From a gnat.
episodes to come.
I love it. I
I'm
love
looking
it.
forward to getting that going.
That was beautiful, mate. That was beautiful. And you're a singer as well, is that right?
Yes.
Have you ever sung in French playing the guitar?
Yes.
Have you really? Can we have a bit of a go at that? Or?
What about we make this even a bit hard, a little bit of French poetry whilst playing the guitar.
What do you reckon?
Not that I know any French poetry either, but
Mate, I can't say that actually.
Can't say no. Very croaky, coming off the back of a cold. Not really the time of day. Non, je pourrais jamais vivre sans toi.
This is amazing. I'm glad we're on a date.
Le papa, je mourrai.
We need a rose. That was excellent.
It was, and he actually can sing. I've been to a couple
Yeah.
of events where you've played, and then we've had who's the lady that plays the saxophone as well? That she's fantastic.
Angie Bell.
Angie Bell, yeah. Angie Bell did an amazing job on
was
the
good.
saxophone as well. And you guys up there beat the other tune. It was quite good. It was In Excess's tune, actually.
In excess, never tear us apart.
That's exactly right.
And then I got up and played April Sun in Cuba, not realising the significance. Oops. The ABC were at this event, Dan, because
They were,
there was beer there. And
They would have loved
the
it.
other time
you want to get the press gallery to anything, open a bottle of or a can of something alcoholic. Anyway, and they were videoing it, and I just belted it out. And the next minute, I'm sort of waking up on a Sunday morning, and it's the end of Insiders, and all of a sudden they've got Hugh Parkinson mixing up me singing April Sun in Cuba and our former Prime Minister Morrison trying to do it on the ukulele.
Take me to the April sun in Cuba. Oh, take me to the April sun in Cuba. I can't remember the words.
I'm not being rude, but that voice should come with a government warning.
Yeah.
Probably the worst voice I've heard.
Take me to the April sun in Cuba. Take me where the April sun's gonna treat me so right, so right.
I think you've got an absolute joy inside you, and you let it out in that song, and it was fabulous to watch.
And then
You
and
were
then
better, Birrell. You were better.
Judges. So, so I was compared
The better
favourably.
Birrell this time.
the better Birrell. Exactly.
So no, I'm certainly not a national figure in this role, but that was my one sort of
You are
national
now.
press moment.
Yeah, nice. Have you had a couple of runs on Insiders, or
Just that time.
Just that one. Well, a good one to have.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't want to be be for the wrong reasons. So if that's what I'm there for, that's okay.
Now, because we just shared a date there with your French music and whatnot, we've got some red wine behind us. And I know you two have competing wine regions, so can you both woo me as to who has the best wine in Australia?
I'll let you go first
silence
because
is
I don't
deafening.
need to go first because I know the Hunter has it. But you guys have good wine down there. Tabilk is fantastic. You've got so many good wineries down there as well, right on the river there.
Well, he's right. He's selling it to you. But basically, look, the town of Heathcote's not in my electorate, but the northern area of the Heathcote wine region is. And it's got a ridge called the Mount Camel Range, which has what's called a ridge of Cambrian soil because it became soil in the Cambrian age. Now that soil combined with the easterly aspect means that it is the perfect place for growing certain types of red wine. So, and around the town of Colburn, brands like Whistling Eagle, Hennings, some Tyrrells do have a vineyard
yes, I
there.
actually have a bottle in there.
I think I just fell in love with the better Birrell just then. That was the best description I've ever heard in my life.
Now, on the other side of the Goulburn Valley, there's a beautiful place called Dookie, which is where I did my agricultural science degree, and it's got these magnificent red soils, also magnificent for growing all types of red wine. And then you've got the Nagambie Lakes area, Mitchelton to Bill. So varied, excellent wines from that part of central Victoria. Yeah, I think it's magnificent, and I think soon we'll be talking about the Heathcote wine region in the same way we talk about Barossa. Even better.
Wow. I'm just mesmerised by that description.
I was going to say the Heathcote wine region is the same as the way we talk about the Hunter wine.
How come you don't talk about soil and aspect and all
Because
that?
I'm not an agronomist. What is it?
Agronomist.
Agronomist. I'm an agronomist. That's his job to know about soil.
That was amazing. Go on, Dan.
Because he knows the soil types. I don't know the soil types. You know what I know?
The drink.
How good it tastes on the palate. And may I say, we have the most palatable wines in the world here in the Hunter. And thank you to our amazing winemakers from the Hunter for all you're doing. We've got a couple of you right here. We've got Mercer Wines and Usher Tinkler Wines as well. So thank you for the work you guys do.
Not sponsored.
Yeah, not sponsored. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. We don't mind. We are looking for sponsors. We're up to our 13th or 14th episode. So I'm surprised we haven't had the big likes of, say, Triple M and all those guys coming.
I know, right? It's disappointing.
Listener app.
It's
and that
disappointing.
Kind of
It is disappointing.
yes, but I'm sure we'll get there at some stage.
I'm sure we will.
We're hitting highlights of about 7 people watch this.
That's
now.
exactly
Yeah,
right.
so we're
I thought
going
I thought we breached 8 the other day.
8?
Yeah. Oh, mate.
We should have had a beer for that.
We should have, and we will, and we will.
We'll make up for that.
Sure, there's checks in the mail, guys.
As you see, we go off on little tangents ourselves here, so
I've
it's
noticed that.
not all about you. Yeah,
Have we got some food here that pairs nicely with those wines?
we certainly do.
Pairs nicely. Well, actually, it's a peach, Gordon.
Oh, and
we
tell
do-
me about
we
those
don't pair
peaches,
Steve.
Sam Birrell.
Well, one of the iconic companies in my electorate is SPC.
Thank you, Dan.
Founded in the late 1910s, about around 1918, and obviously it's a great fruit growing region. Grows most of Australia's stone and pome fruit. Pome is apples and pears, and a lot of that goes to the fresh market, but also, particularly in the early days, a lot of it was processed into cans or these are snack packs. So I'm particularly passionate about Australian grown and Australian made food. And so I try to promote, and healthy living.
Yeah.
So I try and promote what SPC does, which is Australian fruits and vegetables.
Because your office has got them piled up at the front,
Yeah,
right? Is that right? You can see them from the front door.
Often when I'm speaking in Parliament on this issue, even when I'm having a crack at you guys or whatever it is, I do say, look, everyone's welcome to come to my office and grab some Australian peaches. The other thing, and Dan does, and the other thing I've been doing is running around buying the imported Chinese product and doing a blind tasting.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone gets it right.
Oh, right.
Dan particularly got it right. The speaker, Milton, waxed lyrical about how good that was compared to the watery, flavourless imported product, and then put that up on social media just to try and draw attention to, we've got some great stuff
do.
here.
Absolutely we do.
Let's buy it.
And we need to make sure we do that. And whilst we're on that subject, SPC is an amazing company in Sam's electorate. They do amazing stuff. It's Australian made. And I was lucky enough to be one of the taste testers on this. And honestly, those peaches from China are crap. They're absolutely disgraceful. They're water, they're just, there is no flavour whatsoever. So for the extra few cents more that we're paying for Australian made, please get behind our Aussie growers and Aussie producers and actually go and get that stuff. Because the stuff from overseas is
you're right.
genuinely crap compared to this.
And it promotes healthy living, as you said, right?
Yeah, healthy living is about, for me, it's about diet and exercise. So very passionate about Australian food and fruit and vegetables and dairy products, but also about activity, exercise and sport.
And we're the envy of the world, right? When it comes to our fresh fruit and veg. And
Oh, we certainly are.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes, yes. And
I just need to eat more of it.
I clearly eat too much. Mine's a volume issue. Yes.
Used to be a washboard stomach, now it's a twin tub, mate. Rolls around, long vehicle, road train.
You don't put diesel in a Ferrari, do you?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
And speaking of sport, I've seen you on a little bit of social media here and there, going around playing footy with a lot of the footy clubs. Was it baseball as well? You've done baseball and
hockey.
netball, hockey, yes, netball too.
Yep.
Yep.
Goal defence?
I tried that, it didn't quite work. When you're with a lovely young girl who's 6'2", no, that didn't work out too well. Who's the goal shooter?
How do you go going and doing all this training with the guys? Because I've seen one that was pissing down the rain.
Yeah, look, you guys have been through this. You're in a campaign and you're looking for an edge. So I thought, well, I did play football back at school and in the amateurs for a while. Let's go to try and see if I could show I've got a little bit of energy for the job. I'll do footy training with a local club in my late 40s, run around chasing blokes who are in their early 20s.
There's no barriers here.
Exactly. Anyway, so did it a couple of times and enjoyed it. And then after I got elected, I thought, this is fun. This is a great way to engage with the community. So I set out, I'm going to be on a mission. I'm going to train with every football netball club in my electorate. I thought there'd be about 24, 25. Turns out there's 44. Yeah, and so, but I'm about 32, 33 in, so I'm nearly there. And it's great. I go down to the footy club. They introduce me. I go try to do half football, half netball. Go for a run around, do training. Yes, sometimes the weather's been a bit adverse. Sometimes the Golden Valley Football League it's a pretty high level league. We've
It's a
got
very
some
high level league.
ex-AFL players and running around after them is pretty hard sometimes. But yeah, enjoy it. And then what happened was all of a sudden you get all these clubs, the hockey club, soccer club, even the croquet club, the shooting club, saying there's more than just football and netball, Sam. So I've been invited to all sorts of stuff. Apparently I've got to do pickleball now.
Oh yeah, it's quite an intense workout right here with pickleball.
Yes, biggest, fastest growing sport in the world right now.
I've heard that, yeah.
Yeah, so quite impressive. And so at footy clubs and netball clubs and hockey clubs, croquet clubs, shooting clubs, you get people who are pretty honest and don't mind giving their opinion to you on things. Which club has given you the most grief? And just really let some of the boys let you have it.
Well, what they do, everyone sees an opportunity when a politician turns up.
That they do.
Sam,
yes.
you'll see that we're training at night and you'll see that our lights aren't too good. So why don't you go down in that pocket and see how dark it is? And when you can't see the ball coming down to you, you'll realise the necessity for the infrastructure upgrade. Of course, guys, no worries. The funniest bit is when you're in the line for the drill and, you know, got to keep the talk up at footy training, and you turn around, and I turn around and say, okay, what's this bloke's name? Because you got to go and call for the ball. And the nicknames. I mean, you know, this is Wet Dog. Wet Dog, Wet Dog. This is Gumboots. Gumboots. And then the other night, all right, who's this bloke? Sauce. And I said, are you sure that's his name? Yeah, it's Sauce. Sauce. And he delivered me the ball, so that's...
I thought you said it was not sauce. His name was not sauce.
But they're very
I have been
original.
worried about a few.
They're very original with their names. Like I'm from Melbourne originally. I played for Romsey Footy Club. They're very they call me Shooter because I shot. So they are very good with names, and that's what footy clubs are good for.
Very good. Love it.
I had a good one the other day, deck chair. Because you fold. You fold quick.
Was that for you or me? Huh? Was that for you or me?
I don't think we were describing us, mate.
I do like deck chair though.
Yeah, it's good.
Yes, we could run that.
It'll make its way into a speech at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Yes.
Or an interjection.
I've got a little list of things I want to get in the speeches, and we're ticking them off as we go. There's a few good ones to come, but it's just convincing some of my staff members that they think it's acceptable or not to say it. Yes, we're getting there.
I'll be looking forward to hearing that.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure Milton and the
so
deputy
it's just
speaking panel will be
everything
look forward to
that's in-
adjudicating on it too.
Everything that's in context, it's okay. We're working on things. Yeah.
And on the topic of this place being a very unique work environment, it's a bit crazy sometimes. What's the craziest story you've had to date while you've been in this building?
Craziest story. Look, I heard a wonderful interjection once. Probably the wittiest person in the Parliament's the former Deputy Prime Minister, Michael McCormack. Di Lee, wonderful Di Lee, member for Fowler, who, you know, we all know and love, got up, asked the Treasurer a question about when the date that a certain program was starting. And the Treasurer got up and gave a speech about how important this project was and the merits of it. Di Lee gets to her feet and says, point of order on relevance, Mr Speaker. All I really wanted was a date. And Michael McCormack yells out, not with him, surely. And I thought, oh, that's very witty. That's good.
She has standards.
Exactly. And I thought that brought the whole Parliament together. There was a lot of mirth and laughter on that one.
It is very interesting in this place when we're all here together. So for those that don't know, when we're sitting in Parliament, there's 5,000 people in this building, in this amazing building that we call Australian Parliament.
It's been described as like a cruise ship.
Yeah, I've had more fun. I haven't been on a cruise, but I'd imagine they're more fun than this. I don't get to sit around the pool here.
There's the trough. You get all the. There's the
trough,
food.
yeah.
There's the food there.
Some of the people here, when I'm down to my undies, sitting out the front there, relaxing by the pull.
Well, but
The,
if you're in their undies, that's probably why they're milling around the window
I call
there.
them bathers.
Why are
There's
you
been some
in your
complaints
undies in
already.
the fountain?
No, they're bathers. They're bathers. And you call it a fountain. Some people may call it a pond, but it's the closest thing we have to a pool on a cruise ship.
I
So-
guess it's not. It's like a cruise ship, but I suppose we could describe it because we've got to be here between when Parliament sits and 6:30 for votes. It's a bit like as the Eagles would put out Hotel California. You can check out, but you can never leave.
That's exactly right. We definitely don't leave this place. And good times. We have very odd working hours when we're here, as we do in our electorates as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So and that's what many people don't understand with our jobs is just how intense and how busy we are because we're on the go from 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, quite often till 10, 11, 12 at night sometimes, just with functions and what is part of our role.
Yeah, and one of the great things about Australian democracy is that people want access to their elected representatives. They've got more access in this country than probably anywhere around the world, and long that may that be the case. But as you guys would know, it's you sort of. It's been a hard day. You go down to the supermarket, all you want to do is get a loaf of bread and get some milk
Get
and
your
get out there.
peaches. Get your peaches.
I guess, Sam, can I raise this issue with you? And you've got to be on for that. People don't realise that. That's
We're on
a
24 hours
challenging,
a day.
That's right.
challenging part of it, but it's also the good part of our democracy, our representative democracy, right?
That's right. My daughters refuse to come to Bunnings with me now. Yeah, because Bunnings,
Takes too long.
trip takes 2 hours, which I love because I have a couple of sausages, help out the local people that are doing whatever they're raising money for. The other day it was the RSL and I chipped in a good $10 worth of sausages and that was quite good.
Did you give them $10 for one sausage, or did you put the $10 saying how many sausages can I get for that?
I actually got 3 sausages and I gave them $20 as well.
Oh, well done,
To
mate.
the kiddies. So it's a nice thing to do. They do good work. And so do all the other volunteer groups who are in the
That's
area.
right.
They do.
Exactly right.
Yes.
Is it time?
No.
Oh, damn it. I'm itching. I need to win.
It's not all about winning. It's about
100%
working
it is.
together
100% it is.
as a group to make Australia a better place.
Oh, for the love of God, Dan.
So for the better place.
Looking forward to hearing that in the next speech. As you compliment us on what we're doing.
I will compliment you guys on something. You guys do a great Christmas party. I've been to a couple of your Christmas parties, and they are a good Christmas party you have in the Nats room there. They're good. They have hot dogs. I'm a big fan of a hot dog.
Yeah.
Nat's good to have a beer with.
They are. They
They're good to have a
yes,
beer with.
Yes, they're as is most people in this place.
100%.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The Nats in particular. The Nats in particular.
Well, they know where their crowd is. Yes, yeah. So,
That's right.
And it's not always at Bunnings getting sausages. Yes, yeah.
That's right. Yes.
Sometimes you might find a Polly in the pub.
Spot on, and there's nothing wrong with that because that's where a lot of work gets done, especially in the regions like yours. And I was lucky enough to go down to your electorate a couple of years ago, just before my family reunion down in Rochester. So have you got Rochester? Is Rochester just ahead of you? You do have Rochester.
Yep.
So they obviously had some flooding issues just after when I was there last,
Yep.
as we did in the Hunter. So I'm looking forward to going down and just seeing how they've recovered from that.
Yeah.
But I went to a little place in Echuca that had a whole heap of horses and some other stuff there. You go trail riding there, and I don't remember what the place was, but all I seen was your bloody call flutes with your big head everywhere there. They hadn't
Did you say
been
you went
made-
trail riding?
I,
On like a Clydesdale? Or?
I didn't go on the horse because there was no Clydesdales. My daughters went on the horses because I couldn't. The animal cruelty people would be straight onto me. So if they seen a picture of me on a horse, it would be all over the front page.
God, it'd be good. Would you take your shirt off and, go a bit macho man on the
Well,
top
I
of
don't
that
think it
horse?
matters whether I have the shirt on or off. They still think I'm too big for the horse. So,
Is there a story that he wanted to be a jockey growing up, but it became impossible?
well, I hit the wrong end of that mark. Did you ever think about becoming a jockey? Because you have the right stature.
Oh, the right stature, yep.
in-
I was a horse rider as a younger person.
Yeah.
I was a more trail rider through the forest.
Yeah, okay.
But look, I had a dream once when I was 14, but soon became. No, it wasn't really my thing.
Wasn't your thing? No. Was it the early mornings, the pretty bad pay as an apprentice when you're an apprentice jockey, or was it just the fact that you had to work your ass off to become a jockey? Because, geez, they work hard.
That sounds right. That sounds right to me.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, it's time. You can go do your little bit now, because I know you're itching for it.
What?
It's time to
are
do
we
your
on?
little thing. You do your little
No,
bit
actually, you
because-
start this week. You
No,
start
no,
this
it's
week.
okay. You do it because I don't want to taint his opinion.
Taint his
Yeah,
opinion.
where you'll go straight away. You'll go dirty. You'll go to the ground. You'll go rock bottom straight up. So, and I'm not willing to do that. I'm better than that. There you go.
Sure. Better Birrell, one thing that we love to do is ask every guest whether they are, more inclined to visit probably one of the greatest regions in Australia or the Hunter Valley. And, part of that is selling it, right? Part of that is selling it. So, when I think of the Central Coast of New South Wales, not just beautiful, pristine beaches, hundreds of kilometres of, crystal water, blue, beautiful open vista, subtropical national parks, some of the biggest in the world, and also quite a good cultural scene, which is actually quite exciting. We've got the Wyong Art House, beautiful plays and playwrights. We've got, jazz and music that are now being played on the waterfront, markets everywhere. It's actually beautiful place to visit, and it's very close to the airport if you're coming from Sydney or from Newcastle. And it's a great place to be, work and play. Or you can visit a coal mine.
So,
And eat in a pit.
I'm going to continue on here from this because I haven't heard of the subtropical rainforest that we've just heard.
National Park.
National Park, was it?
It's one of the
This is
biggest
new.
in Australia.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so what do you mean by subtropical?
It's below the tropics.
Okay, so I would pretty much just call that a national park.
Subtropical.
Subtropical.
God,
Is
it
this
makes
just
it
something
sound
that
sexy.
you put in to,
It makes it sound sexy, though, doesn't it?
Okay, well, I've got a national
Let's just
park
say
with trees.
kids study geography and climatic zones in school.
I didn't.
Again,
I also didn't study soil. But good work.
Still the best phrase I've ever heard. that soil spiel before.
You did go well on that.
I love
but anyway,
that.
let me talk about the Hunter. And you, being a co-chair of Parliamentary Friends of Viticulture, you understand how important the Hunter region is
I've lost.
to the whole of Australia. It was the first wine-growing region in Australia. And it was the first area where they found, not the first area where they found coal, but is the area that has been powering New South Wales and Australia
That's right.
for the last century. And will continue to that for centuries to come. Wonderful thoroughbred industry, our fantastic wine industry, which is about to turn 200 years old. That's why we are the oldest wine region in Australia. We were the first. So you can have our delicious nectar of the gods, or you can have the Central Coast where pretty much culture goes to die.
But imagine drinking one of those wines overlooking the beautiful oceans that are the Central Coast. You can whale watch on the Central Coast as well.
So he's not from the ocean, he's from...
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you need that release.
Yeah,
That release of
anyone
endorphins
can go-
while you're looking at the
anyone can
beach.
go to a beach. They're all over Australia. Yeah, you don't have to say the Central Coast, because the Central
Harsh.
Coast has got just a couple of little waves about the size of the coffee table.
well, you've sold
no
it well,
culture.
both of you
And no
guys.
culture.
Both of you guys have sold it well. I mean, notwithstanding, I'd talk about the third option, which is the beautiful river red gums that hug the rivers of the Goulburn and the Murray and those beautiful ancient forests, and then the alluvial plains, and then
God, he gets me every time.
This is like poetry.
the agricultural
it's not French
region and
poetry.
its patchwork quilt of wheat and canola, which is
Lord.
blooming at the moment.
You sound like a brochure.
And Nicholls, and, just,
I do love the Riverina area.
and the
Yeah,
beauty
it's
that
nice.
is
It's beautiful.
that is
Murray River.
the agriculture of Nicholls. I love both your regions. I like going to I like the mountains. My wife likes the beach.
There you go.
You're the better Birrell too, by the way.
So I am now. So yeah. So look, I'll come to both.
You've got to pick.
You gotta pick.
Have
I?
We got a comp on. We got
Everyone
a competition
picks.
on this.
It's a tally.
Yeah.
Oh, well, probably drinking wine in the Hunter
Good work, dear sir. Good work.
and breathing in the coal, and
You going to do another aside, Dan? You going to do another
then
aside?
after that I'll go down and catch up with Gordon on the beach. How about that?
Yeah, so that's a good idea.
I just
Fair
said I'd
enough.
go
You
there
know
first
what,
to
you
pick
could
up
even-
the supplies for us, Gordon.
See, there you go. See?
Or you could go work out what culture isn't first, and then just come to the beautiful Hunter, and we can go to the.
You've really got to come to the coast more.
I do come there. I do come there, but we leave there as well. Yeah, so we go back to paradise. And
Run
we've only
to
just started-
paradise.
We've only just started doing this. Do you have any questions for us? We've just grilled you, so do you have anything for us you'd like to ask? We put you on the spot here, so it's good. We don't let people know we're doing this.
Well, I think you seem to do a lot of research, guys. Like, obviously trawling for information that's out there. So that's interesting. I mean, have you
We've
ever,
got a lot of friends.
Have you-
We've got a lot of friends.
less now. What have been your most insightful observations since you've started this podcast journey?
Well,
How exciting some people are.
yes. The different journeys that they've had. What was that from the background?
How boring summer comes.
I'm sure
we don't
sure
find
that's not a
that on
reference
this
to
end.
the last 30 or 40 minutes. Definitely.
Negative. No.
See, we don't find that on this end because we try and steer the conversation to somewhere where we know we're going to make it. Where we've got
Impactful,
Some goss. Yeah, where we've got
impactful.
some goss as well. And
Are you surprised how, we're all new to this place and most people see, a bit of question time and a bit of back and forth and it's, those who want to criticise our democracy and criticise perhaps the way it's been set up are quite down on our system. Have you found it refreshingly and surprisingly collegial, even between two sides of politics?
So as someone that wasn't overly political prior to entering this, obviously had my voting pattern.
Yeah.
I found that there was a greater degree of bipartisanship than I thought.
Yeah, and we're good friends, right? We're on the different sides and we have ideologies or different views on things, but I think the strength of our democracy is that we can disagree and not have that become a personal thing.
that's exactly right. And that's what I found here is that everyone here pretty much does get along. There's obviously some people you don't get along with, and that's it, always in life.
Yep.
But I was genuinely surprised at just how well we do work together in our committees and things like that when we're really working together on those, and just how easy it is that we can have a little crack at each other and then go have a beer later as well.
Yeah, and
It is a great...
oppositions have got to hold governments to account, and we've got to have a contest of ideas.
Exactly
But
right.
that's got to be, the people of Australia want to see us do that in the way that we're doing this here.
Yeah,
So,
spot on, and that's really why we've done this podcast.
Yeah, and credit to you for
Try
doing
and
it.
get this going and just show people the other side of politicians that we're not all just stuck up wankers. Some of us are just wankers. We're not stuck up. But
I think you've described yourself very well, Dan. I love you for it.
But I genuinely believe that everybody in this place is here for the right reasons and want to make Australia a better place and look after their community as best they can and go in and fight for what they think their community needs and what they hear from the people in their areas.
Yep.
So, well, I'll let you do the wrap up today.
So, and look, with that, Sam Birrell, the amazing Sam Birrell, Better Birrell, thank you so much for taking the time. Dan and I are going to go and probably have another date listening to the song that you made us, drinking that wine and reading your poetry. So thanks for being on the podcast,
Light
mate.
some candles.
Yeah, we will. I'm
sure you'll enjoy.
We'll light a candle.
Maybe even have a red wine or two because we do know that's one of your faves. Little red wine on the side there. So, and that's when I hear the poetry really comes out the most. After a couple of reds with the French, and you're on your little way to...
I want you to talk to me about soil in French next time.
Okay, let's do that.
All right, see you soon, everyone.
Cheers, guys. Have
Thanks.
a great one.